During the final years of the Xia Dynasty, royal guards sealed an underground bronze door beneath the palace after something inside started knocking back. The strangest part was not the knocking. It was the fact that the sound always came after midnight, exactly 3 times, and according to the oldest surviving records, the thing behind the door knew the names of everyone standing outside it. More than 4,000 years ago, the Xia royal palace stood beside the Yellow River, surrounded by massive stone walls and ceremonial towers covered in bronze. At night, hundreds of oil lamps illuminated the halls, while royal priests performed rituals beneath the palace foundations. But according to forgotten legends, there was one part of the underground palace even the priests feared entering. A sealed corridor buried far below the western chambers, a place simply known in ancient records as the Lower Gate. Very little was written about the corridor in official Xia history. Most surviving mentions were later destroyed or deliberately erased. But according to scattered legends collected centuries later, the passage had existed long before the palace itself was built. Some believed the Xia kings constructed the royal palace directly above it in order to guard whatever lay beneath. Others claimed the corridor descended into something far older than human civilization, and according to palace superstition, no servant was ever allowed near the lower gate after sunset, especially during storms, because that was when the knocking usually began. The first detailed account appeared during the reign of a Xia king, whose name was later removed from royal records. According to surviving fragments, palace workers repairing flood damage beneath the western halls accidentally uncovered a hidden staircase sealed behind layers of stone and bronze chains. The staircase descended deep underground beyond the known palace foundations. Witnesses described warm air rising continuously from below. Not hot air, breathing air. Slow pulses of warmth emerging from the darkness beneath the palace. At first, the royal overseers believed the staircase led to forgotten storage chambers. Several guards carrying oil lamps were ordered to investigate. But hours passed without their return. Then, shortly before midnight, the knocking started. 3 slow knocks echoing upward through the stone staircase. The sound was deep, heavy, almost wet. According to surviving stories, every person near the corridor heard the same thing moments later, someone whispering their name from deep underground. The king immediately ordered the staircase sealed again. But before workers could close the entrance, one surviving guard finally emerged from the darkness below. Witnesses later claimed his clothing was soaked, as though he had fallen into deep water. His lantern was gone. His hands were bleeding, and according to palace servants, he refused to let anyone touch him. When questioned about what he had seen below, the guard reportedly whispered only one sentence before collapsing: "There is a door beneath the palace, and something on the other side keeps asking to be let in." After that night, strange events spread throughout the royal palace. Servants sleeping near the western halls reported hearing footsteps beneath the floors after midnight. Some claimed the footsteps followed them through empty corridors underground. Others heard whispering behind sealed walls. Then came the dreams. Palace workers began dreaming of enormous underground chambers filled with black water beneath the palace foundations. Most described a massive bronze door standing at the center of the darkness below, and behind the door, something breathing. Several weeks later, another guard disappeared near the underground staircase. Soldiers eventually discovered him kneeling before the sealed entrance shortly before dawn. His eyes were open, his body completely dry, but black mud covered the inside of his mouth, and carved into the stone beside him were symbols no royal priest could recognize, ancient markings older than the Xia dynasty itself. Fear quickly consumed the western palace halls. Servants refused to enter the underground corridors alone. Oil lamps reportedly extinguished themselves near the sealed staircase after midnight, and according to palace rumors, the knocking behind the underground door slowly became louder every night. At first it came only 3 times, then 6, then 9, as if whatever existed behind the bronze gate was growing impatient. Finally, the king summoned the royal diviners. The oldest ritual priests of the Xia court descended beneath the palace carrying oracle bones, bronze bells, and ceremonial fire vessels. The rituals reportedly lasted until sunrise. Witnesses waiting above later claimed the palace floors shook violently sometime before dawn. Then all sound stopped. No knocking, no whispers, nothing. When the priests finally emerged from the underground corridor, several were reportedly unable to speak. One had gone completely blind. Another refused to remove his hands from his ears for the remainder of his life. But according to surviving legends, the oldest among them delivered a final warning directly to the king before dying days later. He claimed the bronze door beneath the palace was never meant to keep people out. It was built to keep something underground from reaching the surface. The king immediately ordered the entire western corridor buried beneath stone and molten bronze. Dozens of workers sealed the underground staircase, while priests performed rituals continuously for 7 nights. According to the oldest records, every laborer involved in sealing the corridor later vanished within the same year. Some disappeared from locked rooms. Others reportedly walked into the Yellow River during heavy storms and were never seen again. And after the burial was completed, all mentions of the lower gate vanished from official Xia history, but the legends survived. For centuries afterward, travelers sleeping near the ruins of the ancient Xia capital claimed they heard knocking beneath the earth after midnight during storms. 3 knocks, always 3. Some reported whispering voices beneath the ground, calling their names from the darkness below. Others swore they saw bronze doors inside dreams after sleeping near the ruins. A few never woke at all. Even today, certain villages near the Yellow River refuse to build homes above ancient underground ruins. Because according to old Chinese superstition, if you ever hear knocking beneath the floor after midnight, you must never answer. Because some doors beneath the earth were never meant to open again.